Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is Mark Roden, and in today's wonderful video, we are going to be going over 15 dirt cheap cars that weigh less than 3,000 pounds. As you guys know, I'm a big fan of good handling cars over cars that are fast in a straight line. No hate to any of the people that enjoy. I have a cup of juice next to me. I thought it spilled all over my seat. I was so worried. But anyway, no hate to people that like drag racing or anything like that. But that's just not my thing. I like handling. I like cars that can go around corners, go on canyon carving expeditions, and just have a ton of fun in that way. So that's what I like, and so that's the cars I look up. And so these are going to be 15 cars that are way less than 3,000 pounds. So they're obviously relatively good cars in terms of handling. Song of the day is called Paralyzer by Finger 11. It is a banger. You guys probably already know it, but it's a rock and roll song. Go give it a listen if you haven't already. Also, these are all cheap, but I would say the price range for today is probably like $10,000. So a little bit more than what I usually do, which is like $5 grand, $3 grand. But yeah, 10 grand. Some of these can be found under $5 grand too, so keep that in mind. And coming in at the wonderful number 15 spot, by the way, we're going to be going in descending order of the heaviest. We're going to go from heaviest to lightest, okay? And so coming in at 15th place is the Subaru WRX Bug-Eye, which has a curb weight of 2,965 pounds, so right there underneath that 3,000 pound mark, obviously. And the car comes with a 2-liter turbocharged flat 4, making 225 horsepower, and it is all-wheel drive. As we all know, the WRXs are extremely good cars. There's a lot of cars on this list where it's like, even though they are lightweight, do I think they're like the best option? Not necessarily, because maybe they have a longer wheelbase or whatever, but the WRX is just perfect in every single way. And on top of that, the all-wheel drive system helps it grip up even more. Coming in at 14th place, by the way, the reason why we're talking about the Bug-Eye today and not the Blob-Eye is actually apparently the Blob-Eye is just slightly heavier than the Bug-Eye, that it actually goes over 3,000 pounds, so I couldn't talk about it today, which is, I know, a big shame, because you know your boy likes to talk about Blob-Eye WRXs. But either way, 14th place is the Volkswagen GTI Mark IV, which has a curb weight of 2,950 pounds, and it comes with a 1.8-liter turbocharged inline-4, making 170 horsepower, and it is front-wheel drive. You guys have heard me glaze the Mark IV GTI 7,000 times before. It's one of my favorite GTI generations, and it's a lightweight one as well, so it literally just checks all the boxes. And on top of all of that, it has the 1.8T, which is obviously really good as well for building some power. But the front wheel drive is definitely, you know, leaves some room to be desired. But a lot of these cars, a lot of front wheel drive cars are lightweight, so that makes sense. Coming in at 13th place, this car isn't much different from the last one, so we're not going to talk about it for too long, because again, it's pretty much the exact same car as the last car we talked about. It's the Audi TT first generation, which has a curb weight of 2,910 pounds, and it comes with a 1.8-liter turbocharged inline-4, making 170 horsepower, and it is front-wheel drive. Does that sound familiar? It's the exact same engine, horsepower, and drivetrain. Everything about the car is pretty much exactly the same as the Mark IV GTI we just talked about, but this car is weighs slightly less by 40 pounds, and so I figured I would mention it. Audi TTs, you know, you can say about them, say what you want about them. A lot of people don't like the looks of them or whatever. I don't mind looks, but either way, say what you want about them, man. They are good handling cars. They do their job. And coming in at 12th place, the last one for the 2,900 pound club, it's the Dodge Neon SRT4. The SRT4 Neon has a curb weight of exactly 2,900 pounds, which is pretty cool. I like when things are like that. They're just like simple and straight and flat across the board. I like that. And it comes with a 2.4-liter turbocharged inline-4, making 230 horsepower, and it is front-wheel drive. Yet again, front-wheel drive is going to be a recurring theme here, because front-wheel drive cars do just tend to be lighter. Again, the fact that they are front-wheel drive, though, it definitely takes away from it a little bit. But yeah, these things, 2,900 pounds, light as hell, 230 horsepower too. Like the other cars so far have had relatively low horsepower because they weigh so little, but this one does have an actual pretty decent number of horsepower. As a matter of fact, I think it's the highest horsepower number on this entire list. It is. Yeah, this is the highest horsepower number car on this entire list, so that's pretty interesting. However, coming in at the number 11 spot is actually one that kind of surprised me, took me by surprise, if you will, because I did not expect these to be under 3,000 pounds. I kind of thought they were heavier than they actually are, but they're not. They're under 3K. The Mitsubishi Eclipse GST 2G, the second generation of the Mitsubishi Eclipse. You can get a first gen also for under 10 grand, and those are also less than 3,000 pounds, but these cars weigh 2,877 pounds, and they come with a 2-liter turbocharged inline-4, making 210 horsepower, and it is front-wheel drive. It's pretty much the GSX that we all know and love, 2G Eclipse, but not all-wheel drive. It's front-wheel drive instead. And for those who don't know, that's a 4G63, a watered-down 4G63, and it weighs 2,877 pounds. Sign me right up there, partner. It also looks incredible. Again, a car that I always saw was kind of heavier than they are. However, breaking its way into the wonderful top 10 is going to be going to the Nissan 240SX S13. Also, I want to make it abundantly clear that obviously this isn't all the cars for less than $3,000. They are that weigh less than 3,000 pounds. They're just the ones that I think are the best that weigh under 3,000 pounds. And the S13, it is getting up there in price. Definitely not really worth its price anymore, to be honest, but still a really cool car. They have a curb weight of 2,800 pounds exactly. Again, makes me so happy to hear that. And they come with a 2.4 liter inline four, making 145 horsepower, and they are rear-wheel drive. Finally, a rear-wheel drive car. Yeah, these cars are. This is the reason why these cars are such popular drift cars, man. They're just light as hell, and yeah, they may not make the most power. The KA is not the best engine or anything like that, but you don't really need all that stuff anyways when you're going to be destroying the car, let's be honest. All right, coming in at number 9 is starting to make his way into the Mark Roden videos more and more often. This car is starting to trickle down, which is making me really, really happy. It's the Subaru BRZ. For those who don't know, this is a relatively newer, modern-ish sports car, built in, I think, 2012 was the first year they made these. I don't know exactly. But they never really were under 10 grand, and nowadays they're starting to drip under there a little bit, so I'm finally being able to talk about them in my cheap car videos. Either way, the car weighs 2,690 pounds, so completely skipped over the 2,700 pound area here. Now we're in the 2,600s, and the car comes with a 2-liter flat 4 making 200 horsepower, and it is rear-wheel drive. This is why I always say that people don't understand the BRZ, because a lot of cars around this have a lot less horsepower than this car does. Okay, the next 4 cars have less horsepower than this one does, and people are always like, oh, it has such low horsepower. Like, yeah, because the car is light, dude. This is a lightweight little rocket. Y'all already know, man. Y'all already know I had to include my car in this list, you freaking scallywag. I may not really care too much for my Integra recently, but the one thing I always have on everybody else is that it weighs nothing. It's number 8 is the Acura Integra LS, which has a curb weight of 2,681 pounds, very, very close to the BRZ actually. And the car comes with a 1.8 liter inline 4, making 140 horsepower, and it is front wheel drive. Obviously, that number can very, very easily be changed because it is a B series Honda motor, so keep that in mind. And there's a reason why these cars were like the fastest front wheel drive car of their time when they came out. Because they're so freaking light, dude. These things just like, they weigh nothing. They're paperweights. Even in my Integra, it's insanely light. Also, paperweight was not the word I was looking for there. That means that it's useless. That was not the word I was looking for. You know what I was trying to say though. Pretty little baby, I'm so in love with you. You guys hear that song recently? It's just like trending on TikTok. I'm a fan of it though. It always gets me. Either way, 7th place is the Mazda RX7 FC. This car has a curb weight of 2,650 pounds, and it comes with a 1.3 liter 2-rotor rotary engine making 160 horsepower, and it is rear-wheel drive. As yeah, it's gonna sound like a broken record here every single time I talk about a RX7. I say it, but it's got a rotary engine. They're not the most reliable cars out there, but they sound really cool and they rev really high, which is awesome. The car is super lightweight, still in the 2,600 pounds area, and this car is rear-wheel drive. However, they're really starting to get to the point where looking at these things is sketchier than just robbing a gas station without a mask on. This thing, they're all destroyed, and if they're under 10 grand, it's probably a reason for that. Coming in at 6th place, there's a lot of cars in the 2,600 pound range, obviously, but this is the last one, I promise. It's going to the Porsche 944. It's barely in the 2,600 pound range. It's 2,601 pounds. Never would have expected this, if I'm being honest. I always thought the Porsche 944 was a pretty heavy car, but it's not at all, apparently. It's 2,600 pounds. That's very, very lightweight. Well done. The car comes with a 2.4 liter inline 4, making 150 horsepower, and it is rear-wheel drive. Again, just another reason why I think the Porsche 944 is so underrated, dude. Like, a 2,600 pound car that's rear-wheel drive and is built by Porsche with pop-up headlights, like, that's just baller. Everything about that is freaking baller. They are starting to get more and more praise, so the price might come up on them in the near future, but as of right now, they're still under 10 grand and a good deal. 5th place, would you look at that, laddie? Another car I don't really get to talk about too much. I feel like I always just kind of forget about it. Kind of escapes my memory, but today I did not forget about it, gosh darn it, because 5th place is going to the Toyota Celica GT 6th generation, not the 7th generation, the one that you guys are probably thinking of, the one right before that with the spider eyes and the GT4. Ooh, Nelly, I love that car. Car has a curb weight of 2,560 pounds, and it comes with a 2-liter inline 4 making 130 horsepower, and it is front wheel drive. One of the lowest horsepower numbers on this list, but also one of those lightest weight cars on this list, so keep that in mind. This car is a track weapon. Now, obviously, yes, the GT4 is definitely the better option if that's what you're going for, but not all of us can afford a GT4, and the regular old GTs are dirt cheap. Sorry about that, by the way, guys. My dad was hawking loogies upstairs, so if you guys heard that, I apologize. But either way, coming in at 4th place is probably, in my opinion, the most impressive one on this list, and I love these cars. This is part of the reason why I love BMW so much. It's the BMW Z3. The BMW Z3 has a curb weight of 2,557 pounds, so only 3 pounds lighter than the Celica we just talked about, but it comes with a 3-liter inline-6, making 225 horsepower going to the rear wheels. That is an incredible combination compared to everything else that we've talked about so far. This is why I think this car is so unbelievably slept on. The Z3 is unreal. Like, people don't like it because the clown shoe variant or whatever. First of all, 90% of Z3s are convertibles anyways. You don't got to deal with the clown shoe. But second of all, the clown shoe looks good anyway. Like, I'm sick and tired of acting like it doesn't. They look cool. I love the Z3 in every single way. It's a great car, incredible deal. I love them. I want one so bad. Either way, coming in at 3rd place, another car where I haven't really been able to talk about this car in quite some time. It's been a while since I've talked about it. I used to talk about it quite often, but nowadays I don't really do it. The Fiat Abarth 500, and the reason why I don't talk about it too often is really because of the reliability. But either way, the car weighs 2,512 pounds, the last car that weighs in the 2,500 range on this list, and it comes with a 1.4-liter turbocharged inline-4, making 160 horsepower, and it is front-wheel drive. Super short wheelbase. It actually kind of makes for the car to have experience a little bit of body roll, I've heard, so that's obviously not the best, but this car does sound really cool. So something I thought I should put out there. The unfortunate part of it, though, again, is the reliability. I've only heard horror stories in terms of reliability for these cars, but they're fun and they're different, and it definitely you definitely got to be have an acquired taste to drive them. But if that's you, they're only 2,500 pounds, so have fun. All right, 2nd place. Okay, so the Z3, in my opinion, is the best bang for your buck on this list, in my opinion. But 2nd place is honestly, in my opinion, the biggest surprise, because 2nd place is the Honda Civic 6th generation. Don't get me wrong, I've always known that 90s, early 2000s Hondas are obviously lightweight cars. Everybody kind of knows that. I didn't know they were this light. This car weighs 2,339 pounds, and it comes with a 1.8-liter inline-4, making right around 125 horsepower, and it is front-wheel drive. This car did have a ton of different engines. It came with a ton of different trim levels and everything, so the horsepower number is always kind of weird whenever I look it up. But either way, 2,300 pounds, dude. That is insane. It's like, that is so lightweight. I thought my Integra is lightweight. This car weighs 300 pounds less than that. That's mind-blowing, bro. I want one. Alrighty, though, guys. You're on the Mark Roden channel, man. Y'all already know you're on the Mark Roden channel. You knew there was going to be an honorable mention. And the honorable mention for today's video is the BMW 328i E36. And the reason why it's an honorable mention is because it's actually over 3,000 pounds, but it is so freaking close that I'm putting it here anyways. It weighs 3,009 pounds, and the car comes with a 2.8-liter inline-6, making 190 horsepower, and it is rear-wheel drive. Dude, just take the back seats out. Literally just take the back seats out of your E36, and now it's under 3K pounds. Jesus, I'm choking over here. But 1st place, a surprise to quite literally not a single human being on the face of the earth, yet, in my opinion, well, not in my opinion, but the lightest sports car out there for under 10 grand, that's also still a good deal in my opinion, is the Mazda Miata NA with a curb weight of 2,222 pounds. Perfect, by the way, 2222 across the board. Love that. The car comes with a 1.8-liter inline-4, making 135 horsepower, and it is rear-wheel drive. Yeah, what is there to say about the Miata that hasn't already been said already? They are quite literally the ultimate driver's car. They feel like go-karts. And the reason why that is because of how freaking light they are. They weigh 2,200 pounds, and that's before you decide to do any weight reduction. You can do tons of different little weight reduction on this car, too, to get the car down to less than 2,000 pounds if you wanted to. It's probably not going to be fun to drive at that point and really uncomfortable, but it can happen, and that's, in my opinion, incredible. But ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of today's video of the top 15 best cars that weigh less than 3,000 pounds. I keep messing that up because every time I say 3,000, I think that I'm supposed to say dollars next, but that's obviously not the case. For less than 10 grand, though. Hope you guys enjoyed. This was a completely different video idea that we'd never really done a video like this before, but I thought it was a good idea. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it was fun to watch and everything. I know that a lot of the people on my channel are like me in the sense where we like good handling cars and stuff. So I hope it resonated with some of you guys. And I hope if you enjoyed, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all that great mumbo jumbo. Be sure to check the links in the description for any of my other social medias or any of that great stuff. And yeah, guys, I gotta keep the outro short today, unfortunately, because I am running a little late in terms of my recording. So thank you guys so much for watching. Das Vidania, and have a nice night.